Anyways, so today I was asked to just share a little bit about how I came to church and receiving the Holy Spirit and any other things I wanted to share.
所以今天我被邀请来见证我是如何来到真耶稣教会，如何领受圣灵，还有其他的信仰体验。
So how long can I go? 10 minutes? 20, 15? Okay. So I came to the true church in 2004, so about 10 years ago.
我大约在10年前，2004年的时候来到真耶稣教会。
I grew up. I was born in Taiwan, but I came here when I was 4, and I grew up in Texas.
然后我在台湾出生，4岁的时候来到美国，然后住在德州。
My parents brought us to a Taiwanese Presbyterian church.
然后我父母亲带我们到台湾的基督长老教会聚会。
Well, in Texas, but it was a Taiwanese one.
但是它是一个台湾人的教会。
And I used to go when I was young, and used to go to Sunday school and everything else. And as I grew older, and in high school, I started being more independent. I stopped going because I didn't really, it wasn't benefiting me at all.
我小时候我都会跟着家人一起参加星期日的主日学，但是到高中日之后呢，我就觉得我就不想再去教会，因为我觉得这样的崇拜聚会对我没有帮助。
And so in high school and also in college, I went to a lot of different churches. So I had a lot of Korean friends in high school that brought me to a Baptist church, several different Baptist churches.
所以我到高中高中和大学时期，我就到不同的教会去聚会，然后我高中的朋友有韩国人，他们带我去浸信会参加聚会。
So I experienced many different kinds of Christian churches. Even in high school, somebody, for some reason, they found me and they hired me to play piano at their Episcopalian church, so Episcopal church. So I did that for about a year, and I earned $50 for one service, which is a lot of money for high school. It was great.
然后在这段期间，我曾经到许多不同的教会，在高中的时候，甚至有间教会以每次聚会付我50块钱来帮他们教会司琴，然后所以在那段期间，我对于基督教的教会有不同的接触。
And I don't know if anybody here has felt this, but or if you've gone to other churches before. But my personal feeling, growing up, there was always something missing. I could go to so many different churches, and you sit there and you listen, and then you go to whatever classes, and then you just never. I always felt like there was something. I didn't know what it was, but there was something missing that didn't really touch my heart and really affect me as my soul, my person.
虽然说我从小是在教会长大，但是每当我到教会聚会，或者是说参加宗教教育课程，我总是心里面觉得有失落些什么，然后那一份失落感是我一直没有办法去填补的。
And so my father was a physicist in Taiwan, so we were raised very kind of almost very scientific. And I studied engineering in college, and so I always like to have proof of something. I need to see or have proof that something exists for me to believe it.
我的父亲在台湾就是一位物理学家，然后我个人本身在大学的时候是学习工程的，所以以一个理科的角度来讲，凡事都讲求证据，然后说我是一个非常理性的人，但是我在信仰这条路上一直找不到一个确信的一个证据让我去相信这个信仰。
And it made it even worse, trying to find a church, because if you go to a lot of different churches, a lot of them, they just say a lot of things. They say, oh, you're filled with the Holy Spirit, and God bless you. And then, you can listen to an hour sermon, and they'll open the Bible one time, and you're just, I was like, well, I guess I just carried this. It's pretty heavy, so I carried it for nothing, and it was just very, I think that was part of what was missing.
然后我去过许多不同的教会，有些他们1个小时的讲道里面只翻过一次圣经，只告诉你被圣灵充满了，你被神祝福，可是总是觉得说少了些什么。
And so when I was in graduate school in 2004, I met a friend there who introduced me to TJC, and I started to. She gave me some of the books and the manuals of 10 Basic Beliefs, and I started reading it. And like any other church, I was just like, oh sure, I'm willing to go check it out and go try it out, just like all the other churches I've tried in the past.
好，在2004年我读研究所的时候，我有位朋友，他是真耶稣教会的信徒，然后他将教会的一些刊物拿给我，邀请我来教会。那时候我就想说，可能又是另外一间教会罢了。
And so, the first time I went to church, the sermon, they opened the Bible at the very beginning of the sermon, and then they kept going and finding different verses, and I was just like, whoa, hold on, I can't keep up, and I ended up having to bookmark the table of contents because I wasn't very familiar with the Bible. And so I had to keep going to the front to find each book, and they must have flipped to about maybe 20 or more different parts of the Bible, and it was just amazing to me. I was like, wow. Again, being a kind of a scientist, if you want to call me that, this was kind of like proof, right? Like, oh, you're actually referring to something now, like a textbook. Like in school you have a textbook, in church you have a Bible. They're kind of similar. Now you have something that is proof of what you're saying.
然后当我第一次来到真耶稣教会的时候，他们从聚会开始就很翻圣经，然后其中一连翻了将近20多节的圣经，我都来不及翻，都不晓得怎么去找到那些经节。但是这样的经验对于一个身为科学家背景的我而言，是个非常重要的经验，因为我知道这个信仰它是可以透过圣经的经文来确认的，所以我认为这样的查经聚会方式对我非常的有造就。
And I remember, I don't know how all of you felt the first time you heard, brothers and sisters praying in tongues. But I remember the first time I heard it, I kneeled down and you start praying, and then immediately I heard the noise. I opened my eyes. I was like, oh. And I was prepared for it. Actually, they discussed with me praying in tongues, but you don't really experience it until you hear it. And then I opened my eyes and I just kind of looked around, and then I kind of just said, okay, and I just closed my eyes again, and then just said hallelujah over. And it was amazing. I mean, I'm not one of those people that, the first time I prayed, the Holy Spirit came down on me. That didn't occur, happen to me, and that wasn't God's plan for me. But it was, I remember it was very interesting hearing prayer for the first time.
然后我不晓得大家对于真耶稣教会的灵言祷告的第一次经验是什么？但是当我第一次祷告的时候呢，我被祷告如同洪水的声音给吓醒了，吓到了，我就眼睛张开来看一看，就觉得说，怎么会有这样子的一个情况？虽然说我在来聚会之前，我的朋友已经将教会的祷告方式跟我解说过了，但是真的听到了跟之前说的还是非常的不一样。但是神虽然没有在我第一次祷告的时候就将宝贵的圣灵赐给我，但是这对我来讲是在信仰上面是个很特殊的体验。
So, I just like here at Irvine Church, in Houston Church, there were a lot of brothers and sisters who were very willing to study more with me. And so in the next several months, I went to members' houses, homes. They welcomed me into their homes, and we spent, an hour each time studying the beliefs and studying the Bible, studying, Jesus' time here on earth, and all those kinds of things. And thank God, 3 months later, I received a water baptism in Galveston, which is Gulf of Mexico, in Texas.
我那时候是在德州，然后德州休斯顿教会的弟兄姐妹也都邀请我去他们家参加查经或者是聚会，然后跟我解释我们的基本教义，或者说基础信仰、耶稣的生平。然后我在查考圣经道理3个月之后呢，我就决定受洗，然后在德州受洗成为基督徒。
And you always hear of different stories about receiving the Holy Spirit, and I heard one member there told me she prayed for 17 years for the Holy Spirit, and then you hear of other people that they received the Holy Spirit the first time or the day, even while they're being baptized. And when you hear that, you always say to yourself, oh, I don't want to be that person that waits so long, or has to pray so long for it. So I'm just going to pray really hard, and God will give it to me pretty soon, I bet. And so I started doing that. I started really praying for the Holy Spirit. And I remember that it was that night after I got baptized. I was praying, and I don't know. Somehow God moved me that He caused me. I guess I was just repenting to God, for my life and all the things I've done in my life, and God, I just started to cry. As a man, you don't try to cry so much, right? I'm sorry, it's a chance.
那个关于祷告得圣灵的体验呢，我曾经听过有姐妹祷告求了17年，然后有的是第一次来教会的圣灵，有的是洗礼当天的圣灵，然后所以我是希望自己不要是要祷告很久才能得到圣灵的人，所以在我受洗那一天晚上，我就决定我要很认真祷告。其实，在祷告当中，我就开始跟神忏悔，然后在那次祷告当中，我非常受感动，不住的流眼泪。然后对于一个大男人来说，流眼泪是一件很奇怪的事情。
And I remember my hands, I didn't realize so after we finished praying, but my hands, I guess, were squeezing so hard that when we finished, my hands were kind of stuck in this position for a while, and I was all red from squeezing so hard. And I didn't even know I was doing that. But I was just like, and then even after we stopped praying, everybody was up in the front, of course, and I just couldn't stop crying, so I kept crying, and then so like, of course, I didn't want to turn around because I didn't want anybody to see me. So I kind of like backed up very slowly, and I just sat on the first pew, and I just kind of sat there, and I was just still crying, and one of the brothers sat next to me and kind of comforted me, but it was a very interesting experience.
然后在那次祷告当中，我不自觉的就是手握得非常的紧，甚至到结束的时候，我发现我的手还是红肿，然后还是很酸，还是紧握着。因为我在祷告当中一直被感动，不断的流眼泪。就算祷告结束之后，我还是不断的在流着眼泪，所以那时候只是静静的畏缩到前排座位坐着，然后有弟兄过来特别安慰我，然后所以这是在祷告当中相当特别的体验。
And of course, the brothers and sisters, they tell you, it's all up to God's timing. It is not up to us when He wants to give us the blessing of the Holy Spirit. Thank God, I was baptized, and so I pretty soon after I got baptized, I moved to California, and I started a new job here, and I started attending East Bay Church in the Bay Area.
所以那时候弟兄姐妹安慰我说，没有得到圣灵没有关系。可是后来我受洗之后没多久，我就搬到加州，然后我也在湾区的东湾教会聚会。
And I continued to pray for the Holy Spirit, and about 5 months later, during one of the youth events, I was praying, and then afterwards, one of the preachers came to me and said, did you notice that your body was moving a little bit during the prayer? And he said, I think that God is giving you the Holy Spirit. And again, it wasn't like some people receive the Holy Spirit in a hot flash and you get it and you're filled with the Holy Spirit. I think for God's plan for me was He was kind of giving me a little bit at a time to make sure that I wouldn't take it for granted and I wouldn't take advantage of it. And so when I heard that, then I went home and I prayed even harder for it. And I think that's what God would have wanted. Hopefully, God would have wanted me to do.
然后在搬到东湾5个月之后，有一次祷告会结束之后，传道跟我说：“你有注意到你祷告的时候身体会震动吗？”然后可能有圣灵的感动，所以那时候我就是很感谢神。虽然说我祷告没有像一般人得圣灵的时候有特别的体验，像是身体有暖流经过，还是有特殊的体验，但是神却是一点一滴的将他圣灵的感动加在我的身上，让我能够去验证、去明白得圣灵这件事情不是偶然、突然发生的。
So what I've learned from all this, in the last 10 years since I've been in churches, it's all about God's time. It's not anything that we can decide. All we can do is ask God and constantly keep asking God for His blessings, and it's up to Him whenever He wants to give it to us. And I think that makes it that much more precious when He does give it to you.
所以在过去10年，我在祷告当中学习到，神有神的时间，神会在适当时间将圣灵赐给我们，让我们能够去珍惜神所赏赐的圣灵。
In Sacramento Church, I just moved here about a month ago. We're in Sacramento Church for about 9 years. There are members and truth seekers there, friends actually, who have been praying for the Holy Spirit for almost 10 years now, and they're still praying for it. And so, it's not to say that it's not up to us to say, oh, you're any less of a Christian or anything, or you're not a good member. It's just God's timing.
然后我在撒加缅度教会聚会了将近9年的时间，在那个地方也有慕道朋友祷告求圣灵，求了10年都没有得到。然后求圣灵的时间长短，不足以作为说你有没有认真祷告，然后而是说神给每个人体验不一样。
So I guess I'll stop there. I have 2 other stories that I could share, but maybe another time. But yeah, I guess thank God. I think the biggest thing I've learned, since then, God has been showering His blessings. I mean, I now have a wonderful family with, too many children in the family, but that's a good thing. And then, we've been able to, we've moved from Northern California to Southern California. I've never really had to worry about jobs or anything. God's always provided those. And that was my 2 stories I was going to tell, is about me getting jobs. And it was all with God's guidance that He provided those jobs. And so, thank God, I think the bottom line, what I want to say is, He has the plan, He knows the plan. And it's, anything I've learned in the last 10 years is all we have to do is follow His plan and not our own plan. And so that's, thank God for that. It really makes life you know, they say being a Christian is hard, but it's actually not that hard. You just follow God's plan, right? And you trust in His plan, and then it's very easy from there. Yeah.
所以我在东湾祷告得到圣灵之后呢，我可以感受到说，神将他的恩典跟福气不断的浇灌在我身上。神赐给我美好的家庭，有4个可爱的孩子，然后也为我安排工作，甚至让我能够在之前不久从沙亚缅度搬来尔湾这些地区。神这一切的都是神给我的恩典。然后，所以我相信神在我们身上有不同的计划。然后我们神有神的时间，所以我们要等候神的时间来看待神如何成全在我们身上的美好的计划。